Final explanation of the tangent graph. So look at the graph. I'm going to look particularly, between 0 and pi over 2, but we can look elsewhere as well. For this one, let's not go with tangent as sine over cosine. Let's not go with tangent as opposite over adjacent. For this, let's go back to that visual definition piece that we had looked at a while ago. Keep in mind, in this, tangent is represented, wow, it jumps around on me, sorry. Tangent's represented by the length of that yellow line that you see. And so if we think about the length of that yellow line, if we're starting at an angle of 0, the yellow line has no length, or it's 0. And this explains why when we look on our tangent graph, whoop, sorry. When we look on our tangent graph, that explains why when we have an angle of 0, we have a height of 0, right there. But as we go back to that visual and we start to rotate, look what's happening to the yellow line. It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. As my angle gets closer to pi over 2, my yellow line is getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and huge and really, really giant. And oh my gosh, it's off the screen and I can't even see it. And then it's going to get bigger and 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 bigger. And then imagine here, right up there. Not quite there. Not before it flips. Or right before it flips. How big, if I could put that dot like perfectly at pi over 2, how big would that yellow line be? Would it ever touch the x-axis? At point C. Would C still be there? And if you think about it, C wouldn't be. We couldn't measure the length of the yellow line. And that explains why, if we go back here, as the angle gets bigger, so remember our angles are on an x-axis, our tangent values are getting bigger and 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 bigger, and then right at pi over 2 it's like, oh, how big are they? I don't know. I can't measure it. And that is why it's undefined. Now obviously you then still have to understand that, the fourth quadrant tangent's negative, and second quadrant tangent's negative, and third quadrant, which is right here, tangent's positive, but it does explain the size of tangent. So you can see the same thing is really going to happen as we ride around. You can see the same ideas, which is really quite cool. So anyway, hope that one helps too. Have a good night.